McLovin gave me Todd McShay's never too early draft or too early for next year's draft.
Way too early.
Way too early draft. So Tua Tagovailoa. If I gave you Tua Tagovailoa as the number 1 overall pick or the field, I'm taking the field here.
Oh, I'll take it. I'll jump on that. I mean, I would take the field too, but I think Tua has a good shot.
Of course he has a good shot. But you got Herbert is in there. Any other quarterbacks in Todd McShay's too early?
I think Jake Fromm is in there.
Oh, Jake Fromm from Georgia.
Let's see. He's got Herbert 6. He's got, I'll find Jake Fromm. But we were looking at last year, he only had Drew Lock in the first round.
Okay,
but obviously missed the other guys.
Who's taking these quarterbacks? Because you got Tagovailoa going to Miami?
Yes, he's got Tagovailoa
we
going to Miami.
can't do that to Josh Rosen.
And then he's got Herbert going to the Raiders. Interesting.
Okay. And Fromm is going to?
I can't find Fromm. So maybe he didn't have Fromm. Fromm's polarizing in the scouting community because he's not that big.
Well, neither is Tagovailoa. Kyler Murray wasn't big either. What are you talking about?
Well, except that Tagovailoa is spectacular, where Fromm is just quietly efficient. You know, they've recruited like 3 quarterbacks to replace him. Nate Stanley, Iowa quarterback, 31 to the Chargers. That's interesting.
That's Seaton's boy, isn't he?
Let's see, who else?
Oh, no, that was Iowa State, wasn't it? Didn't you?
Oh, yeah. What's that kid's name? They had 2. They had a wide receiver and a quarterback. The kid was amazing.
Well, the wide receiver, I think, went in the 4th round or something.
Holy
Wasn't that
smokes.
Butler?
Hakeem Butler, yeah. But sorry, Jake Fromm is not in the McShay mock, but he's in a lot of other mock drafts.
Oh, all right. Any other quarterbacks in there? Since that's all we care.
Just the Iowa kid right now. But like you've always said, we didn't know who Dwayne Haskins or Kyler Murray were at this time last year. Daniel Jones was a 5th-round pick at best.
I'm curious if Tagovailoa came out, who would go first, Tagovailoa or Kyler Murray? Because Tagovailoa is 6'1", and he's a bigger kid than Kyler Murray. I don't know what...
Tagovailoa, remember he was kind of playing hurt at the end and he came out for That's what I don't think people understand. Which Tagovailoa, the guy who dominated all year or the guy who struggled at the end?
And he's got an unbelievable receiver coming back.
That's the other thing too. How do you know how good he is and how good the receivers or running backs are?
Yes, Paul.
But from a strategy standpoint as a franchise, the Dolphins, could they be in a really good position? They're not paying Rosen. They get to try him out for a year and see if he's a franchise quarterback. And they'll know going into the draft whether Josh Rosen is their future or other. And if they're 3-13 and they have the first pick, that pick could be worth a lot in a trade based off the quarterbacks next year. They could have their choice of the quarterback, and if they don't need one, then they're even in better shape. They've got their quarterback for 3 more years for a low price in Rosen, and they've got the first pick to deal.
Could you imagine if Josh Rosen has to go through that again?
If they're 3-13, that's pretty bad. Doesn't feel like he'd be that secure at 3-13.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's safe at 3-13.
You said it honestly like 6 days ago. You're like, oh man, this could happen again. You saw it before.
I kept thinking, well, if Josh Rosen goes to the Dolphins and they have the worst record and they draft Tua, then he goes through this again where he loses out to the number 1 overall pick. Who are the teams that are going to have bad records who are on that list?
Let's see. Okay. Obviously, the Dolphins, the Redskins, who they have.
The Bills have to be in there.
The Bills are 10.
Okay.
Now, he said in the beginning, he said it's from Football Outsiders rankings. That's sort of like a sabermetric site. Cardinals 2, Broncos 3, Redskins 4, Raiders 5, Bucks 6, Bengals 7, Giants 8, Jags 9, then Bills 10.
Okay.
I'm sure the Vegas odds are similar.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.